said fuck Xbox, fuck all these Xbox, fuck every Xbox their channel. Won't give a damn. It's PlayStation for life. You don't get it? Let's get it. Let's do this. Let's do this, my ponies. Let's go to war. What? Say what? Yeah. I say I double tip on The Last of Us. Woo. Yeah, I double tip on the director's cut. Woo. Double tip on every damn release. Damn right. Yeah, Jim Ryan is my motherfucking boss. The boss. Yo, and we don't care about no layoffs. Yeah, all the shine gonna keep it on the low. Shh. We be sucking on every damn toe. Yum. Because Sony PlayStation gets the love. Yeah, so all hell Sony, we be your ponies. You can take my wife, you can take my money. I'm obsessed with the God of War. Yeah, all my ponies ready to go to war. Blue PlayStation high, all over my head. Pentimetal PS5, 120 FPS. Blue team is the set, throw it up. I never had sex, I only care about sales. I said what I said. Woo! Only PlayStation gets my love. Only Sony gets my love. The love, pony love. Only PlayStation gets my love. Only Sony gets my love. The love, pony love. Only PlayStation gets my love. Only Sony gets my love. Thug love, pony love. Yeah. I see you Xbox. I see you playing on Game Pass for free. Nah, man, we don't do that over here. We pay $70 a game. Yeah, you Xbox be broke. You so stupid, so goofy. Fuck you, Demo Flow. Fuck you. Like and subscribe. Yeah, if you wanna see me more on Demo Flow Gaming channel. Fuck this dude, I'ma pop in the shot every time. Yeah, but I'm here to show my pony love. And you with it? Say what?
Okay, cool, nice. Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I really don't care. I don't care whatsoever. I don't care. Let's just get rid of it. Yeah, let's get rid of it. Get rid of it. Like, are you out of your mind? What are you thinking, Sony? It's like God removing my ability to watch. You're worse than criminals. You know we don't own our games when we buy it digitally. When we buy it physically, we own it. We touch it. We poke holes in it. And we fuck. Okay, that's too far. But you're all a bunch of bullies. Who's gonna sign my physical copies now, huh? Nobody. Because it'll be digital. You took that away from us. You're making me cry like Isaac. What is wrong with this world?
Listen, it is what it is. This will be my last PlayStation. Yeah. Thank you, Herman Souls. Thank you, Hiroki Totoki. Really Thank you all for fucking up the brand. Well done. Fuck off.
I don't care. Let's just...
Holy shit. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Demo Flow Gaming Show, where I share my passion for gaming and keep you informed of everything that's going on in the gaming industry. So whether you play it on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, on your phone, I can give two shits about it. We're here and we talk about games here. We talk about gaming, the whole thing. So welcome to the show. You know what to do. If you're already here, man, hit the like button. That helps us tremendously. If you're watching on the phone or something, hype us up. That also helps. But, you know, just by you being here, it's enough for me. So I really appreciate you guys. And happy motherfucking Friday. We're back in the house with Power Boss. What's going on, player? How you doing, man?
I'm good. How y'all doing today?
Yeah, man, doing great, feeling amazing. There's a lot of things going on, so we're gonna get into it. But first, let's address the most important guest of the show, and that's the chat, man. We already got, people here in the chat. We got Riot Gaming. He was the first one. Shout out to Riot Gaming. How you doing, man? We got Lania Lover, and she says, I don't know. I'll say this: once upon the time, here in the West, PC gaming was the default onto the mid 2000s. It was only it was until the 360 era when you've seen a pivot to consoles. These days, don't be surprised if West-based studios start going home and heading back to PC as a default. And look, listen, I have to agree with that statement. It's looking like consoles, right, are trying to catch up with PC or what PC is doing when it comes to graphics, performance, yada yada yada, the whole thing. But consoles are still a viable option. Like even if they're more expensive than they used to, I believe that not a lot of people can go the extra mile or the extra $500 or the extra $1,000 to go ahead and get a PC. So I believe that console still necessary for entry level gaming. It's just more expensive now, and for a lot of people, a lot of working individuals that got jobs and they can save up some money and they buy like multiple consoles, right? They This might be the way, right? Go ahead and instead of buying 2-3 consoles a generation, just go ahead and get a nice rig and play all your games in there. Unfortunately, PlayStation is doing a bunch of shady shit, so the PC gamers don't get some of their exclusives, but that's fine. I mean, at the end of the day, PC has so many games, bro. You don't even understand. Like, it's just like you just have to be there to understand, bro. But yeah, that's a very, very true comment, and things are going that way now. It looks like like console gamers again are getting the short end of the stick, which is like super annoying in my opinion. We got Jules in the house. Better time to move to PC. Shout out to Elder Oliveira. Good morning, sir. How you doing? We got Jules in the building. We got Pablo saying we're getting it into 2A. Let's go. We got it's Jinso 86. How you doing, player? We got Jules saying I'm done with Sony's shenanigans. PC sounding more and more, doing more a better job. I think that's what she's trying to say. No more putting PS6 for me. Screw that. Wow. Dave Reese in the building. How you doing, player? Good to have you around. What's going on with you? PlayStation cooked. I wouldn't say the PlayStation is cooked because you know the deal. These guys are going to cry. These guys are going to complain. But those two will go ahead and, say you need to get a PlayStation. Try to sell you a PlayStation. I've seen, I don't know why people do this. I've seen the Xbox guy account. And the guy was, tagging... who was Adam Greenberg and stuff, as he was selling Xboxes and shit. I got somebody converted into buying an Xbox. Bro, don't do that, man. Just go ahead and you can if somebody asks you what to get, you can give your opinion, but don't try to sell no one nothing, bro, because that's somebody else's job, bro. Honestly, I don't really understand that part of the fanboyism, but it is what it is. We got Darius in the house as well saying, I've kept a digital library since Xbox 360 and haven't owned a PlayStation since PlayStation 2. I'm good. Same thing here. I haven't had a PlayStation since PlayStation 2. It wasn't even mine. So realistically, the last PlayStation that I bought was the first PlayStation 1 back in 1997 or some shit. We got Jules in the building as well saying, yup, I got my dream Ryzen 550 5500 and 5060 with 16 gigabyte 1 terabyte SSD as my very first preview. That's very nice. Got it. Gonna get it next year. There you go. We got Riot Gaming. He became a member. And shout out to him for becoming a member. Shout out to Riot Gaming. We got Adidas 20. I just seen this. Salute. Adidas being a member for 26 months. That's over 2 years. So shout out to him, a good friend of the channel, good friend of the Xbox community in general. So shout out to him. And man, without further ado, let's get into the show because we got so much shit to cover today. And yeah, we gotta address the first thing. The elephant in the room is that what everybody's talking about on the web, social media, Instagram, you name it. You saw Ricky in there. Doing one of those, many reels that he does, making fun of shit. So really criticizing PlayStation. And I saw him not getting into it with HD Gaming. Was it one of HD Gaming or something that he was like,
Broken Games HDR, yeah.
Yeah. He was like, fuck physical media and all that. And look, guys, that's not cool. You know why? Because I've been digital, and I think you guys know for a while. I only own a few physical copies of my Super Nintendo, few physical copies on the from the Xbox 360. I got like Black Ops 2 and Advanced Warfare. So I got a few games, right? Basically completely digital, but I I'm incapable of hating of on the way that you consume your games. Like I wish we could go back to those times in which we went to GameStop midnight, and wait for a release. Seeing people in person, right, while at the store, even if you had to camp outside for hours, it was just like a beautiful feeling because I made many friends on my friend list of people who right, like you copying Call of Duty, yeah, I'm copying Battlefield or whatever. Well, you know what? Let's squad up, and we end up playing together and whatnot. And I think that was one of the most beautiful things because, in my opinion, gaming is a social experience. I know a lot of people like to play by themselves, but in my opinion, this is how it is. And I see him, my cousins growing up and stuff, and this is what they do. This is how they spend their time with their friends because, kids, especially here in America, it's not that safe to go outside like we used to. And that's what it is. That's what they do. So ending physical media means a lot because, first of all, physical media is art, right? Is a form of art, but it became so shit. We had to keep it real. It became shit. The minute that they stopped doing these little books that will have like back in the day, like backstories from the characters. Like you picked up something like Mortal Kombat, you had like a guy type shit, like with some moves and some cool art. They used to include more stuff with the physical copy in the games as well. But now it's like in the case of GTA, for example, they just give you a plastic box with an empty CD and just a code. I don't even know if they include the CD anymore, but it's just that. And it just doesn't mean shit anymore, man. I'm just going to be real with you. It just doesn't mean shit to just go ahead and buy a code. And that, but for that reason, you just get it online, And um, a lot of people are doing different analogies, but my analogy with this is like when you are selling something digitally, you are basically delivering the product to the person, to their convenience. It's so much easier, right? Like I'm not saying this is the only way that you should play a game, but I'm saying like this is like has become like the standard for a lot of people. Matter of fact, PC already don't even have physical, but on PC there is always the extra maneuverability, the extra options. You can get a CD player and hook it up to your PC via USB and run games from, I don't know, from the first PlayStation or whatever. You can emulate. You can do so much with that, but consoles it's a whole different story. And console gamers, by default, they like collecting. They like the collector's editions. They like to have the little statues, the little toys in the desk and whatnot. And I think that it's a shame that they are destroying these and ending this. And in my opinion, this is nothing but PlayStation trying to cut their losses, right? Trying to cut their expenses.
Well, it's not that they're trying to cut expenses; they're trying to maximize profit.
Well, both at the same time, because right now they have to keep the lights on the factory, pay the workers, whatever they use.
Did you see the article? They've finally repurposed their last disc making console factory.
Yes, sir. Yeah. We're gonna get into all of that, but it's basically a move to maximize profit and to control the way that we consume media. Because regardless of how you feel, you always have that option of, like, this game, I want it for myself. I want it forever. I'm going to go ahead and pick it up at GameStop, even though I know GameStop is shit. Because I went to GameStop last week. Did I mention it here that I went to GameStop last week? No, because I went to GameStop Saturday after I got out of work. I went to the gym and I needed to give me my protein, whatever, for the gym. And next to the vitamin shop, there is a GameStop. And I was like, let me go in there. And I was like talking about this, like it's so funny that I was talking about it with one of the homies late night playing, and I was telling him like, bro, like I went to GameStop and it's such a ripoff. You go in there and they're selling you WWE 2024 for $25. Like, man, like imagine going and picking up like that game. Like if you go, like I know it's been delisted, right? It's one of the games that have been delisted, but I mean, games like that, that's just to put an example out there. But like in the sales that I see on Steam, you can pick up games similar to this for like $10, $15, maybe $5. And it's just like, there used to be a time that you would go to GameStop to get cheap games. And now you just buy them digitally. So it makes sense. And GameStop, man, they such fucking assholes. I remember going there with 10, 15 games and getting $30 out of them. Like, you know, and they were so like abusive to their customers and the way that they used to do business. And look, now they're gonna suffer because without physical media, GameStop is just gonna be another otaku store full of freaking t-shirts and plushies. That's basically what it is at the moment. Like I went in there and the PlayStation section was decent, but it wasn't good enough. The PlayStation, the Xbox section wasn't even that great. And the Nintendo was the better one out of the three ones because the Nintendo Switch 2 just dropped. So they have a bunch of Nintendos there for sale. And then they're selling you the old Nintendo pre-owned for $200, $250. I'm like, bro, like that's an old generation consoles and you charging that much. It's just incredible how, you know, how fucked up everything is. And I just feel bad that this is happening. But at the end of the day, gaming is the only media that still has physical. Like music, we talked about this plenty of times, the Power Boss. Music, movies and shows, they already stopped making all of that. Like it's non-existent, basically.
Well, if you remember, shortly after the Switch 2 announced game key cards, the body in Japan that is in charge of game preservation decided or came out and said, you know, hey, we are not considering game key cards games. We can't preserve them. We refuse to acknowledge them as, you know, things to keep or something like that. I forget the exact wording. And then now with this news, what does that mean for PlayStation moving forward too? And Xbox is no better, but at the same time, Xbox also just came out with the announcement this past week about how there's a new project going on that, you know, we've known about since Asha Sharma has taken office, that they're working on some form of physical to digital transfer. We don't know how it's going to play out. There could be a whole bunch of things that go wrong with it. Depending on how they do it is whether or not it's going to actually be good and or worth it. And if they pull it off, it also means that it can be done for PC games too.
Yeah.
That's the wild part.
I don't know. I feel like that everything could go really, really wrong because I don't know. It's just like gaming is in a weird space right now. Like games, there's a bunch of games coming out. Like when it comes to like games coming out and all of that, like they look good. It looks like some of the franchises like Gears and even Halo might be even back. But when it comes to like the way that they treat the consumers, that's like where the main problem lies, in my opinion. And the fact that Sony PlayStation disappeared for more than 24 hours after giving this news and getting all this backlash, it goes to show that they don't give a fuck about you, man. They don't give a damn. Like you've seen every time that, and no, I mean, it's not about like Xbox versus PlayStation, but you got eyes in your, you know, in your face, so you can see that every time that Xbox do something that is fucked up, they at least they out there to give their face and to face you, right? And be like, okay, we did this, we fucked up or whatever it is. But it's just like on the PlayStation side, it's like, yeah, we are gonna do what we do. We don't care. We're not going back on our word. It is what it is. You take it or you leave it. And I feel like that's the wrong approach. For your for your consumers, especially PlayStation fans who are so loyal to PlayStation. I feel like this is extremely disrespectful to them. Because at the end of the day, this is what I always say: you can love something and criticize it at the same time. That's the criticizing something is like the best way of love, because like that's when you tell somebody that you care for, like you have a booger in your nose, or your breath stink, or your armpit is disgusting, and you need to take a shower, and people take it the wrong way, but you don't do it just out of bullying. You do it because you care about that person not going, and you're in the middle of the party, you go ahead and talk to a girl or a female, bad breath or somebody, and man, it just makes you look bad, right? And the fact that so you have somebody has your back and tell you, hey, you shit, your breath stink today, bro. Go ahead and brush it or whatever. Drink coffee. I don't know, kill it, what, right? But it's always good to get criticism. That's what I always tell you guys. Whenever I do something fucked up with something wrong, just throw me down there. I won't hide. I won't nothing. I'll be like, oh shit, I fucked up, got it wrong, whatever. It's best to know that you're wrong. That thinking all the time that you're the best, and yeah, everybody behind your back think you're shit. So that's just the way I see it. I feel like PlayStation have been receiving a lot of help in the media with, and we got the case of now recently Christopher Drink, who being sponsored by Sony. We know Digital Foundry is being sponsored by Sony. We know all of this, and it's recently coming out, and finally people are waking up. And finally some people are like, fuck this. Like, if Sony do this, we're out. Because I remember that was the reason that everybody ran with the Xbox One. It was like, oh, Xbox One won't have.
This is literally PlayStation's Don Matrick moment from the Xbox One.
Yeah. And
because that was one of the key. That was one of the key selling points for the advertisement during that showcase when they came out. I know you've seen it demo everywhere. People have been posting it. The old like 20. Games. Yep, the 20-second video of this is how we share games. And this is literally PlayStation's Don Matrick moment because of that.
Matter of fact, I have a funny clip here about that moment here on Twitter. People they're always bugging, but I'm gonna show it, bro. This is so fucked up shit.
You're crazy. This is how you share your game in 2028. What the fuck? Fuck you, asshole. Go buy that damn digital version. You're crazy. Get out of here.
PlayStation.
And this is why the RAM is so expensive. And that's what the RAM is so expensive. Because
I saw another clip of somebody that did it, two different people entirely. Mm-hmm. And it was, this is how you share your games in 2028 moving forward. He holds up a PlayStation disc. I don't remember what game it was. And he said it did the whole, this is how you share your game, step one. He drops the game, bends down, picks up an entire PlayStation 5 and hands it to the guy.
Yeah, that's crazy how they okay, let's be fair. PlayStation 4 was a decent generation for PlayStation, okay? They really had the games, and they had the momentum, and they had the people behind them, right? That's a fact. But a lot of things, and a lot of this momentum was because of the lying that they did in the media and the lies that people ran with about Xbox not having physical, all of these things, because it was never going to be like that. You know what I mean? The only thing that they got was the DRM shit, and at the end of the day, they implemented their own DRM, and everybody knows that everybody has their own DRM, even Steam has it. So it's just everything that Xbox was doing was bad, and everything that PlayStation was doing was like against what Xbox was doing. That was more towards where we at the moment. But yeah, man, that's kind of sad to see, Sony be the first ones, right, to end it, because we know it was gonna end regardless. I don't care. We knew, we thought that it was gonna be Xbox, the first one to end it. Matter of fact, they blame, and I got a couple of tweets out there of people blaming all this shit on the Series S, and I'm like, are you crazy? How can you blame all of these in the Series S when PlayStation also has a whole digital console as well? Which, matter of fact, like, it's, bro, at the store you go and that shit will, like, sell like hotcake. People will go ahead and buy the digital too, and it's just like,
I think Joe from Seattle put it best. He said, he just started a new job, and going home, he goes through fast food restaurants on occasion, and he uses Jersey Mike's as an example. And he says, how did he put it? It was, just because I like drive-through doesn't mean I want sit-down restaurants to go away. And on that same note, that's like saying, hey, you're a sub shop, a sandwich shop, Jersey Mike's, and you're no longer going to be selling subs.
yeah,
It's literally a direct comparison of exactly what's going on.
Yeah, but this doesn't mean that PlayStation is dead by any means. So I've seen people blowing it out of proportion. I've seen people saying that they're gonna throw away their PlayStation. Man, fuck that. You're not gonna do that, man. You guys are not gonna throw away your PlayStation because you obviously love the ecosystem, you love the console, you love Sony. You spending your hard-earned money buying your consoles, and throwing it away would just be like, like, I don't know, like a big fuck you to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck me, basically, fuck me moment. But I would say though, I didn't expect Sony PlayStation to be the first one, and this is what's really shocked me, that they were the first one to say, you know what, we're not doing this anymore. And it goes to show that they're not buying physical games like they said they were. Okay, I was watching Marlon Gaming Nation yesterday. Shout out to him. And he sounded like a teacher on the show. He was like, guys, but listen, And I'm like, bro, like, you just gotta be who you are, man. It's not an act. Like, I buy games. You should buy games too. Like, it's not about that. Like, why don't you just take a second and blame PlayStation for the decision that they made, instead of blaming gamers for consuming games the way that they want to consume it? There is no other way to look at it. PlayStation removed an option that you had. That's it. It wasn't because you didn't buy it, because no, they removed the option. That's it. The day that Xbox do it or does it, I'm gonna feel the same way. You feel me? It's just like there's ways to go about this, okay? And I feel like they were extremely raw with the way that they gave the news and how they reacted to the news by not showing up, or I don't know, replying to any of the users being concerned. And they just removed 500 digital movies from the library without your concern. They didn't give a fuck about you, where you have watched the movies or not, where you wanted to watch it or show it to your godson or your nephew or your maybe your, I don't know. And the fact is, like, media is so abundant now digitally, right? It's always good to be scared and concerned about the future. What if, right? But for the moment, like I showed you guys last week, we all see it here, the emulation page that I showed you guys, in which you can play all the PlayStation 1 games. Well, not all of them, but a few of them, but a lot of them, right? Nintendo 64, original Super Nintendo, and Sega, and all of that. And it's just like, for these companies, it's not making sense. I'm not here to condone.
And let's also not forget that PlayStation is also coming under fire from lawsuits about their store being a monopoly already. So this is just one more thing. Like Dave Reezy says, they're wanting 100% of the sales. So
PlayStation wants 100% of money on
there
games
we go.
and wants to be able to monetize. They're done with freeloaders. And there's another thing, though, that PlayStation fans fanboys, right? Now I'm gonna separate the fans from the fanboys because we're all fans at the end of the day. But they always said you buy your games, you need to buy your games, and they out there on GameStop trading their games. Do you who in the fuck is getting all that money? It's not the developers. You bought the game from the developer. Okay, hold up. GameStop bought the game from the developer, right? They got them in the store. You bought the game, and then when you resell it, like the other person who get that game secondhand is not giving anything to the developers. That copy was only bought once. Do you really think these companies are stupid? And I get it. That's the way. Fuck these companies. I keep on saying it here, but you guys are so against it. Oh, Demo, buy your games. You need to stop using Game Pass. Oh, Demo, don't claim the free games on Epic Games. That doesn't help the developers. No, fuck you. I'm going to claim everything that I want. I'm going to play for free as long as I can. And if I can get enough points to get Game Pass for free, I'll get it too. And I don't give a shit. You know what? Because at the end of the day, when your card declines, these motherfuckers, that's it. They don't care. They don't care. You got money, you play. You don't have money, you don't play. So I get whatever I can get. We get so many little W's as a consumer.
Did you see that GameStop put out a tweet saying because of GTA 6 being all digital, they're not going to accept trade-ins?
Amen.
Because there's nothing to trade in. It's the box.
How? Okay. What are you going to trade? A code that I can use? At least if you have the code, and hear me out on this. What if these codes become your personal code and we have our own economy of how we share these games, similar to what you do with FIFA cards, similar to what you do with the Counter-Strike cosmetics, that you had your game and you put it out there in the market. I had this code, this Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, whatever, and you can buy it, and I can, I'm able to like say and be able to ask how much I want for this code. And you can find like cheap stuff like that, and you can also find super expensive stuff like that. So that'll be an interesting route, but I'm concerned about like scams and all of these things too. So I don't know. As long as there's a safe way to do this, I think that I mean, it doesn't have to be all bad, right? But it's just like incredible to see. So we're gonna go to Twitter now to see some of the reactions because I think some of them are super interesting. So if you're interested in the game that I'm playing here or the gameplay that I'm showing, this is Grand Blue Fantasy Relic. I picked it up last Saturday, I think, and I finished it already. A good 25 hours. I could have gone for longer. It has an end game that is really good, and they have DLC dropping, so I'll be checking it out later. But I finished it already. This game was amazing. I'll give it a 9 out of 10, just because anime can get super cheesy. And the cheesy part, I didn't like the cheesy parts. But when it comes to the gameplay, which in my opinion that's king, and the story was decent as well, I think this game was great, bro. And graphics, everything. This game was so much fun to play, bro. Leveling up your character, unlocking new skills, fucking around with your builds. I think Grand Blue Fantasy Relink is one of the better RPGs that I played, honestly. And I'm new to JRPGs, but like I like Tales of Arise, so I think Tales of Arise was a good one. But I think this one like tops it. I gotta say I like this one a lot, and I'm gonna be going back and forth to some more JRPGs. I already got some that I need to check out. But yeah, trying to get into the genre, right? Trying to like learn a little bit and why people love these fucking games so much. And I think that I get it.
And Demo, the perfect person to ask is in the chat. Hi, Jules. You want to know about good JRPGs? She's your person to talk to.
Yeah. I bought Tales of Systeria. Is really good so far. I'm enjoying it. But it didn't hit like this one. This one was more modern, more up to my pace, more up to like the flashy shit, combat. The other one is like more cozy. But I did download Ni no Kuni 2 on Game Pass, and I'm gonna be check it out. I heard great things about that game. You know, Kuni 1 was a little bit too childish, too cartoony for me, so I'm gonna try 2. But yeah, I can't wait to try. I actually downloaded last night, and I got it ready to play for today, tonight, and this weekend. Let's see how it goes. I'm trying to get into it. Bear with me. Persona games. I play the Persona games though. I like them and I don't. Okay, the only reason why I don't like them too much is because it's like sort of like a routine. Go to school, go this, do that, and I don't want to play my games like that. I want to have like my freedom to do whatever the fuck I want. It's not time to go to school. It's time to go ahead and fuck shit up. That's what I say. That's what Demo says. You know what I'm saying? But I heard great things about Striker. That move because the rest of the personas are more turn-based. A Striker is more a hack and slash, similar to this one. So I might go with Striker and check that out. I like Refantasia, even though I think the story was super slow for me, but I still got like a good 15 hours on it, so I might, download it and give it another long shot. I'm playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but I'm at the point that I got to the beach power boss. I got to the beach, the beach island, whatever. And the mini games are killing me, man.
Yeah, across the sea to Costa del Sol.
The mini games are killing me. Pick up some scooters, play. Fuck this shit. And then when you go to the beach, everybody's wearing clothes. It's like you making me do all these mini games to get clothes so that I can go to the beach. And then when I go to the beach, there's people with clothes. Like fuck you. That's so retarded. Like I'm not gonna lie.
And let's also not forget the latest announcement from the Summer Games Fest that they just had. Persona 6 is going to be Xbox on.
I'm so glad that I'm not the only one. I was watching somebody review it, and he was so in love with the game, and I get it. When you were in love with the game,
now Demo,
like
you know me. I'm a big Final Fantasy fan. I absolutely enjoy Final Fantasy games through and through, except for 11 and 14, and I've even played 14. And I absolutely despise some of the things that Remake and Rebirth have done.
Yeah.
And it is too bloated of a game in Rebirth. Yeah. There's some goods and bads. So it's, are you a purist? And if you haven't played the original, you have nothing to compare it to. It might be an enjoyable game, but there's so many things that are changed, and there's just so many things that made it not fun compared to what the original is if you go back and play it.
Yeah.
Like, my biggest gripe was Gold Saucer, in all honesty.
Yeah. I don't like the card game. Thankfully, I found a way. Shout out to Google Poll. He's asking about the mini games. Listen, if you are looking forward to the mini games, you are gonna fucking like it. I promise you. But as a person who skipped all the mini games in what was the integrate, right? I didn't play the piano. I didn't. I didn't do none of that shit. I went ahead. I wanted to fuck shit up.
Now I will say the piano segments in both Remake, Integrate, and Rebirth are absolutely stellar and phenomenal. Because if you are any sort of a music buff, regardless of whether or not you're actually trying to play the music, the soundtracks are completely worth it just in themselves.
No, and there's so many games that I'm not like the drills that you did as a military, the troop drill. I don't know that you have to do this with the gun and all that shit. That part that you have to play as one of the soldiers from Shinra.
Oh yeah.
That one wasn't bad. The tower defense mode, that wasn't bad. I actually liked that one.
They gutted that from the original. The original was more fun.
I actually liked that one. It wasn't bad. But when it comes to like the Queen's Gambit, or what is the Queen's Gambit, or Queen's Blood, or whatever,
if Queen's Blood was the only mini game throughout, and they expanded it, and they didn't have every single chapter have its own mini game, I think Queen's Blood would have been a much more shining star than it was, because otherwise it's just a mini game that's amongst mini games. The only difference is this is the only mini game that's also in the Gold Saucer,
Yeah, the Soldier
and
movie
has its
was.
own storyline.
I gotta agree with that. But some of the other shit, like finding cactuses painted on the wall, like finding the scooters and returning them. That's what I am right now. I'm like returning the scooters, and I don't even know what I have to do. So I was like, fuck this, and I started playing this game, Grand Blue Fantasy, and I downloaded Scarlet Nexus, which is another amazing RPG that I've been playing, and I'm like 15 hours in already. I'm loving Scarlet Nexus. It's like what a real X-Men game should have been, honestly. It feels like that. I have a few, gripes with the game, of course, but I'm totally enjoying it, man. But let's go on Twitter, man, and see what the fuck is up with these ponies and everything that's going on, because I mean the reactions are insane. I did a bunch of bookmarks, and as you can see here, let's get into it, because PlayStation fans are canceling the PS Plus in protest of digital future. So this is by Insider Gaming, and yeah, I've seen a bunch of them saying that they're not with it. Some of course, some ponies are gonna be like, yeah, but like here, Gizmo cancel PlayStation Plus subscription, PlayStation boycott. This is what's going on Twitter right now. People are hating PlayStation at the moment, bro. Did this after the Bungie layoffs. Like a lot of people are super unhappy. Somebody here says something like, but it's true, sure. And how are they going to play online games? I think MPG cancel his subscription or something, and I'm like, bro, like, okay, like you guys are crazy, because that is just like what that dude said. How are you gonna play online? Do you even play games? Like, I don't really get it. And
Twin War
you have another.
is a real numpty, to say the least. But now I've been talking with two people that are on MBG's mod team, Lady Gamer and Devil Shooter. And Lady's upset because everybody is trying to say that MBG is backtracking and he's not going to stick to his word. He's not going to stick to his guns. He's not going to show a backbone, and how he is, basically just a hypocrite. And Devil Shooter was pointing out to other people that are trying to, quote unquote, call him out, how MBG doesn't care about physical media either. But if you ever watch his streams, you notice MBG has an entire stack of physical games, and he has already stated he doesn't care about backwards compatibility. If the game is old and not on the current gen, he very rarely cares anymore. But he doesn't keep his old games like that, so he gives it back. He resells the game so that other people can experience the greatness that he loves.
Yeah,
and it's just a big thing, and having to defend that is nonsensical.
I want to take a second to defend MBG, bro. I know it sounds weird, but he's one of the few ones who spoken out about this. It's one of the few, like, okay, so people have a tendency to say people are backtracking, they're flip-flopping, all this, but I mean, it only takes one thing from you.
I made the perfect example. I made the perfect example. Okay, MBG saying this is one thing. He is 100% correct with everything he says. Now, whether or not he himself has, sorry to say it this way, but a backbone and sticks to his guns, that's another matter entirely.
That's a story.
Yeah, but he is 100% right with the way he's going about doing this, and I'll fully back MBG. Honestly,
yeah, for sure.
I agree with it.
And he's like, I've seen some of these polls, and I'm like, damn, he's right. He's complaining about some of the PlayStation fans being mad because he's pushing back on this. Some of the PlayStation fans want to be PlayStation fans no matter what. It's almost as if they were caught and they weren't allowed to criticize PlayStation in any way, shape, or form. And I think that's wrong, because that's unhealthy, first off, for you as a fan. And second, for Sony PlayStation, that things that they have everybody grab at the balls like that. So I believe that MBG is right. It's good for him to push back on this, even though I have my disagreements with him and sometimes I don't agree with shit that he says, but he's correct in this one, man. So I just want to take a second to say that. Um, Look, we got God here with this comment here. Asking everyone to show their physical library in 2026 is fucking retarded. 95% of huge titles released in the past 8 years have been absolute dog shit. GameStop doesn't even really exist no more. Nor they don't hold ton of gaming events, etc. You gotta be retarded to know this. And that's part of the problem too. GameStop is not what it used to do. Like I said before, you go and look for physical media out there. And I know the Sony PlayStation fans love to criticize the Xbox side of the store, but the whole store in general is shit. It's full of plushies and t-shirts, bro. I went there not too long ago. That's all there is. Like, what the fuck happened with the
It's
game?
basically become a hot topic for gaming.
Exactly. And it's not
Which is
like,
it's not a bad thing, but the fact that it has become smaller for selling physical has always been a problem.
well, it goes
I
to
actually
show,
found out that my GameStop has been closed for a while. So the only place that I can buy video games in my area is probably at Walmart.
damn. It goes to show that physical media was declining, and that's part of the natural progress of where things are going. And it's like, imagine, like, bro, getting a new game from Amazon or pre-ordering so that you can get it so that it gets to your house. The game is out, everybody's playing, and your copy arrives late. That happens a lot. That happens a lot. So that's one of the reasons why I started consuming digitally. I was like, I'm gonna pay $70 for this game anyway because I'm gonna buy it brand new. I already have it in my account. I can play right away. I don't even need to go to the store. And that's why I started consuming. And eventually, I started consuming games that way. And eventually, I started realizing the games were cheaper digitally, which people told me was the opposite the whole time. And now when you go to GameStop, you see shitty games for $25, $30, and you find them in any store, GOG, whatever, for $5, $10, man. They're ripping you off. On top of that, you go and trade your shit and they rip you off still. So it's like people stop going to GameStop like that. Everybody knows this. It's similar to what, like, when people stopped going to Toys R Us and they started buying shit on Amazon. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the way it is, man. But yeah, Sony PlayStation fanboys are in chambos. They're really mad about this, and I have to agree with them, bro. They it's terrible. And this guy out here, Fire Breather, to everyone not buying a PlayStation 6 because of the lack of physical media, here we go. Instead of fucking condemning PlayStation about what they do, and they go ahead and try to defend it, which is like crazy. What are you gonna do? PC's all digital. Xbox, if they actually stupid enough to make another console that nobody wants, will most likely be digital too. Switch 2 might still have physical release if they stick with putting actual cartridges in boxes. Right now, it's about 80-20 split digital to physical. That number would most likely be 95 to 5 in a year and a half. So what are you going to do? For the record, canceling your PlayStation Plus subscription is not going to do anything, by the way. The only way you can reverse this is by going out to a store and buy physical games. No, you're not reversing this, bro.
Not to mention, they've already said that even going to the stores, all you're getting is a code in the box. There's not going to be anything.
But you go to a store and buy pre-owned. What are you telling me? You buy pre-owned when you go to a store. You're not buying new. They want you to buy new.
But we already know that Xbox is putting out the Helix, and I'm getting more and more worried about what the price of that system is going to be.
Yep.
You have, even if what he says is true, and it's going to go from 80-20 to 95-5 digital physical, that doesn't mean that you're still going to potentially lose out on customers, because if you're an old gamer like me and my era, and people that are roughly my age, okay, you having the option, because some people will go and buy it multiple times. They'll buy the physical disc and they'll get the collector's edition, whatever comes in the box, and then because they've already got the physical, they may buy it digital so they still have it, and they'll trade off the game to a family member and give it to a friend, and or resell it and enjoy not only making some money back themselves, which I know the corporations don't want to hear, but at the same time, you're exposing greatness of what you enjoyed playing, whatever that may be, to somebody else who may not have anything existing. And going to a GameStop, for instance, you learn about games that were never announced at any showcase, were never a big name company. Like, you know, the big names like Capcom and Take-Two and you know, things like that, Xbox Game Studios, PlayStation Studios, Insomniac. You're going to see the major headline games that they want you to see always, because that's going to be all over the news, all over the media. Everybody's excited for those games, you know, any way you look at it. But then, you know, most people don't know, like you, Demo, getting into JRPGs, of exactly how many are out there, how many different ones there are, what makes them great or good or shit, and moves on. And when you go to a brick and mortar store, Walmart, GameStop, Toys R Us, things like that, you're going to wander into that section and you're going to be like, oh, look, here's the game I was looking for. Oh, look, here's the game that I didn't even know about. Let me look at the back of it if I can in some store.
Yeah. You muted, Power Boss. You muted. I don't know why.
My mic just muted itself. I have no idea why.
Our ghost.
But it is what it is. You know, you go to those stores and, you know, you see a game, and then you might see something that you didn't even know about that was never announced or anything like that.
Shout out to Adidas. He said, check your DM. It showed these drives are too slow. I'll check it out, Adidas. Give me a second. But talking about disc and all of that, look, Sony PlayStation Disc Factory is already being repurposed. This is by The Verge. Let's get into the article.
That was the final disc factory, mind you.
Final, yeah, because they've been closing. But look, it's funny how none of this has been out. We don't know until the last factory closed. Why Chris Drink and Jason Schreier and all these people, why didn't they know about this? Oh, they knew, but they didn't report. Maybe, right? Because I didn't know this was happening. Okay, so the video game This is dead, and Sony has been planning to kill it. They asking me for the subscription. I'm not gonna pay this shit. We're just gonna read the beginning. Sony's been planning to kill it for some time, according to a report of Austria, the man who leads Sony making operations. Sony DADC president.
You're not showing it.
I'm not showing it.
Nope, it's still on your Twitter. There you go. Now you see.
There you go. That the company top out plant produce 600,000 discs every day, half of which are for PlayStation. But since it only be making 10% of that volume in 2028, it's planning to retrain all 300 employees to work on optical micro lenses instead. So yeah, they're gonna stop making CDs and they're gonna work on optical micro lenses. So this is what's going on, guys. And this is like, and people wonder, why don't we know about these things? Who is not reporting? That's the question. Who is not reporting this shit? Because people have the right to know that PlayStation is fucking, with their physical media. And they don't say nothing, bro. Like, why is that, man? That's crazy. So yeah, Adidas Solicitors sent me a DM saying that there's a speed comparison breakdown with I'm gonna show you. This is another one of the reasons why it's happening too, right? Speed comparisons break down. CDs and DVDs rely on physical lasers reading spinning plastic discs. They read data at very slow speeds, typically copying around 10 megabytes per second to 30 megabytes per second. Megabits. SSDs utilize flash memory and electronic circuits with no moving parts. Modern drive features read-write speeds ranging from 500 to 7 So there you have it. That's another one of the reasons why, um, you know, this is happening too. It's more convenient for the developers. It's more convenient for. Hold on, because what did my shit go? I removed my gameplay. God damn it. All of that, man. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. So, what do you think about these power balls? Do you really
I
think?
mean, even Nintendo, it's one of the reasons why initially when they made the switch from the Wii U generation to the Switch generation, that they said they were doing cartridges and going back to handheld type stuff uh, because of the fact that things like SSDs made rewrite data so much quicker. They still have load screens, but not nearly as much. Uh, Now, I don't know about the Switch 2 with newer games of third party like Cyberpunk going over there, what the load times are looking like. I haven't seen any comparisons, but yeah, it's absolutely that. The only difference is the read write speed of the disk makes no difference in most cases because you're usually reliant on the speed of the drive, not the actual disk. But at the same time, moving to like an NVMe SSD, no moving parts means that electronic circuits can move things absolutely millions of times faster.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, nothing can stop progress, right? And this is where things are
Absolutely.
going. I don't picture PlayStation as the bad ones or nothing for doing this. This was something that was gonna happen. We just didn't expect Sony PlayStation to go ahead and take the first step. So I believe this is gutsy, but I believe they did it because they had no choice. It was probably too much for them. Don't want to defend them or nothing, but it's just the way it is. They could have kept this store open though, you know, and do their physical this, maybe stop production, maybe have like a hybrid factory in which they work on some other shit, and but they also right there were so many strategies and things that they could have done, but they ended up canceling physical media, and by 2028, that's it, no more. But I wanted to go ahead and move on because there's so much to talk about this week. There's so many news. We got to talk about, like, yeah, some people are asking about Chris Drink and everything that happened with him. So shout out to Cage the Cunning Linguist. He's saying, you guys see Drink getting called out for being sponsored by Sony? Yeah, I have all of that here. Let me go ahead and grab real quick and let's talk about it, because I do have the bookmarks and all of that. So supposedly there was a post on LinkedIn, and that's how he got found out, in which he was thanking whatchamacallit, Sony and all their sponsors. And Sony was actually, they actually, Team Duck actually posted it though. So let me go ahead and share my screen. But a lot of people posted it, but well, Team Dog was one of them. And I don't know if you can see the whole thing, but if you want to, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and link the
I
whole.
read it, but main part that you want to look at is the highlighted area because yeah, it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
mostly just a Chris String was posting about how he's thankful, how he started, where they are now. Uh, oop, where'd you go, demo? I think he closed out of something. But yeah, when it comes back, there
I'm
we go.
back. I press the wrong thing, trying to get the thing.
But yeah,
But yeah,
the highlighted green section was what everybody was talking about, where um, he was saying that
yeah, right here. He
I want
say,
to thank sponsors for, and then he
yeah,
goes and lists the sponsors, and like the first one was Sony.
yeah. He say, and I have to thank those that have sponsored us. We wouldn't have been able to do any of this without you. So thank you to Sony, Keyword Studios, and Green Man Gaming. We have some new sponsors coming on board this year too. So this is basically, Sony was basically their first sponsor. You know, like, imagine that Sony is your first sponsor, and you go ahead and spread a bunch of news that, well, yesterday was wild because I mean, This motherfucker just put obsidian in the chopping block. I don't know. I mean, you see that power boss? They put obsidian in the chopping block. They were like, oh, Xbox is trying to sell obsidian. They're trying to close it. And Jason Schreier, out of all people, have to come out and say this is false. And it's like the rumors are so out of control that we got people like Dragon of Hasador Gojima, right? He even say like, I'm gonna stop posting all these rumors, and we're gonna wait when it comes to Xbox to official word from Xbox, so we can talk about what studios are closing, who's getting laid off, the whole thing. But I think it's just getting out of control, and it's just weird that people go ahead and have a whole media outlet focus on Xbox bad news. I mean, it's a good business. It's a smart business because it's always Xbox bad news. But I mean, and like I said, Xbox is gonna step on their own racks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Xbox is gonna make their own mistakes. You don't need to go ahead and create mistakes that Xbox isn't.
If you pull up my screen share, there we go. So this is a better look at. Yeah. So it says, to celebrate our anniversary, we're offering 20% off paid subscriptions to the game business until April 1st. Paid subscribers get our bonus micro podcast that we do on a Monday, plus our monthly market report, yada, yada, yada. It says the industry has been wonderful since we launched this. The amount of access we've had has new startups, and he does get access. I mean, he gets the interviews. We saw him recently with, not that booty, but the other guy. I can't remember his name right now. From Xbox. And we know that he's had ties with Sony constantly, getting information from official sales numbers, which is why he posts Circana. And he says, I'm grateful for every single paid subscriber we've had. Independent media is tricky, and your support makes it all worth the energy it takes. He says, and I have to thank those that have sponsored us. We wouldn't be here without and able to do any of this without you. So thank you to Sony, Keyword Studios, and Green Man Gaming, which is CD Keys, if you don't know. The same thing. Loaded. And he says, we have new sponsors coming on board this year too. Hey, I'm not going to knock the guy for having a business, but at least the truth has come out saying, hey, we know where his bias is. Yeah, that's it, Cage, Matt Ball. That's who he interviewed.
And another people who got exposed is Alinea Analytics.
I didn't see that one.
But they went to Colin Moriarty's show and they were talking so much shit about Xbox. Yep, I'm gonna show it to you guys right here. Give me a second.
Yeah, I didn't see about Alinea.
This is a guy who runs Alinea Analytics.
The Xbox people are crazy. We all know it. We all know it. We don't see it. Just observe with your own two eyes. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it's no offense, but you're fucking way crazier. Way crazier.
No, without doubt. I mean, because they're on the back foot, right? Like they're struggling, so they have reason to be more crazy, I guess. Yeah, I would probably say even less likely than that, right? Like I just don't see how they will find any new ground. They just increased prices on the damn consoles. Like, I'll probably get shit for this, but it is like they're rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, right? It's a sinking ship. And I'm talking just about like console hardware now. They're talking about like a reset for Xbox, but like, you know, they have the red ring of death. As we know, press and reset does not fix that. I think, yeah, in terms of the console business, it's just more about transitioning the console fans that they do have into the Windows ecosystem. I agree. And like with Asher as well, like the way that she was in the replies of like Tim Dog and like Colt Eastwood. It's like, these are, shit, I should be careful. But like they're not serious people. Like they're not. Like a CEO of a brand like Xbox should not be talking to these like lowest, no, they're not even lowest common denominators, right? They just will parrot anything that Xbox says, like in a positive way.
Okay, so I
want to say, you know, at the beginning of that, I didn't know if he was talking about PlayStation and what they're doing or Xbox. Obviously, he talked about the Red Ring of Death, so he's going all in on Xbox, and we know that Colin has never usually talking bad about PlayStation. He has on occasion. I will point that out. But I've seen his picture. If you go to Alinea Analytics, he's one of the lead analysts, according to them. And I just want to say that Asha being in the mentions and replies of people like Tim Dog and Colt Eastwood and whatever makes absolutely zero difference. Because how many people go to Summer Games Fest? They have the media access. They have, the press releases. And Colt Eastwood has had guests that he's interviewed. Mr. Matty Plays is another one. He interviews Todd Howard almost constantly because he's a big Bethesda fan.
Yep.
But just because you like something doesn't mean you can't criticize them. Now, somebody like Colt, great dude. I've talked with him, a few times when he's been on Salt Shakers with Alex and the crew. And he's a very nice dude. He's very sincere. Yes, he does take some of his videos and podcasts
a little too far sometimes.
But in the field.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's the one going to these events. He is talking to them in person. He does have probably emails with them back and forth. And however legitimate his sources are is irrelevant because we see that he has conversations with higher ups. And, it's just like they're saying, oh, look, the sky is blue. And then you're literally turning around and finding somebody that is, actually, the sky is only blue because of this. It's literally that. So it's nonsensical.
Yeah. I think that a lot of people want to see Xbox fail, and that's a problem. In their grift, they're making mistakes, and they're being exposed as grifters. Well, look at Chris Drain now, Linear Analytics. I get it from an outside point of view. Realistically speaking, we all know Xbox got their problems. Their console is not really selling, but they do have a bunch of fucking games. So I like that because I won games, right? I get that people want their console and shit, but I always said it that games are always going to be more important than anything. At the end of the day, you can even grab a PlayStation and play Xbox games if you think about it. So Xbox got the games, got the IPs, got the studios, got the power at the moment to do whatever the fuck they want and be great. Now, they were making a bunch of mistakes and we got to keep it real, which is why we're seeing a reset. And that's why, Phil Spencer had a nice vision. I totally agree with him. Games should be everywhere, all of that. But at the same time, he had another vision that wasn't very realistic, which was, I'm going to allow these studios to create what they want. Yeah, great. But show me what you want to make. And then I had to make the decision of okay, this is what you want to make, but we are not making games for the studio for you guys to play. 100 of you. We're making we're making games for the people, for gamers who actually, is this something that gamers want to play? And I give you the perfect example. And this person is also sort of like a grifter of Xbox, but she made a video recently about why, and this is what's her name? I forgot her name, bro. Oh my god. Her name is, hold on, give me a second when I get to Laura Fryer.
I was about to say, you're not talking about Laura Fryer, are you?
yeah, I'm talking about her because this is part of her
also
video.
Ever since you got mistakenly kicked out, Demo, I think your mic is going through the wrong input.
My mic is wrong? It's bad? You are muted right now.
Yeah, it did it again. I think your mic through StreamYard is going through the wrong input. It was when you got kicked out.
Oh, got it.
There you go.
Now I'm back. Okay, so here's Lauda Fryer. Shout out to Guapzilla that he posted this. And we're going to get into what he had to say, some of the mistakes that Phil Spencer made.
You make. The issue is when you explore higher risk or niche topics, but still build the team, the budget, and the timeline as if it were a mainstream blockbuster. It's when you don't test those ideas early with real players to see if there's actually a market before making a blind commitment. Everyone could see that Keeper was a short, surreal, artistic, niche game. Yet nobody seemed willing to have the hard conversation about realistic expectations and scoping the project accordingly.
You know, he's just like, what's the most unpitchable idea that I could present to Microsoft, who's stuck with us, and see if they approve it? And it did. And so we're just like, okay.
You make.
Okay, so right there, that's concerning when it comes to the way that Phil Spencer was running things. It was a yes man. It was saying yes to everything. And a game like Keeper, which I showed to my cousins and they loved and all of that, but they were not going to go out their way to go ahead, let me get the fun, Lighthouse game. Like this is something that you show somebody, they play it right there and be like, okay, cool, right, nice. But nobody's going out the way. This is not breaking any bank. And that was a problem. They allowed these people to use these extensive and expensive budgets to create shit that nobody wanted to play, like Keeper. Amazing games that did an amazing job, but
so I'm about halfway through Keeper myself. I started playing it, and they're the same people who made Kill. Okay, now you take those two games side by side. Okay, Keeper is a story-driven, amazing storyline of a game.
Yep.
The gameplay is small, and it is a short.
You're muted again, Power Boss.
I don't know what's going on with my cord or something. It's a beautifully artistic game. Then you look at Kill. Okay, it's very minimal story, and the gameplay is outstanding. It's a team-based fighter, with an objective, and you can't say that the ability that they put in for creating your own pot of 3 different sizes is not gameplay, and neither game are graphically intensive, but both are graphically artistic. So when you take those two games and you put them together, you make a whole game. Now, they haven't done that yet, or they haven't done that for a while, because their last game was Psychonauts 2.
Yeah,
that game was a Game of the Year contender.
And it was popular as well. People were into it because it's a legendary IP. And that's the thing. Why didn't they utilize all the resources to create either Psychonauts 3 or something that is going to have, at least similar weight?
And if you look at Senua, the new Hellblade game, okay, they said that this is not the main game of the series. It's an offshoot side tangent of the story for Senua's background, for one. Okay, so it is not Hellblade 3. It's just by the same developers, Ninja Theory. The game is the first time that the whole studio is working on it, which is why Project Mara was canceled. I don't know if it was canceled. I know he said canceled, but I think it could just be on the back burner because of what they're doing with this. I think it was
canceled, bro. The way that Ninja Theory is being run right now, though, we'll see.
They said it was canceled, and I could see that, but the director, or the creative studio head at the moment for Ninja Theory said he was pulling everybody off of Project Mara to have the entire studio. So they were literally cut in half between Hellblade 1, Hellblade 2, and other games that Ninja Theory was making. Because we know that they've had several releases over the past couple of years. And they literally stopped Project Mara to bring them over to Senua. And this is going to be the first game in a long time that Ninja Theory has had the entire studio working on a singular title.
Yeah.
So I think that also plays a big importance as well.
Yep. Shout out to Bert Brizzle 9563. He's saying, where the other streaming format? iPhone dims and he stops the site on this one. We on Kick, we on Twitch as well, man. Go ahead and there, Demo Flow. Same things, Demo Flow Gaming. And you can also use the other format because I had both. I had the vertical and horizontal format. So go ahead and check this out. Bro, I believe that this cleanup, this reset, is really gonna work. If Xbox focus their forces and in making the games that people are eager to play, like, okay, fuck everything that you're doing, you need to push out Blade. You need to push out State of Decay. Concentrate your forces in games that need to go out. Halo is about to release. Make sure that everybody's working on that game right now to make sure that it's polished. Like, even if it is just bug fixing or whatever.
Literally all the games, game studios that media is throwing out, they're literally throwing out shit and hoping that shit sticks to a wall. Because when you have games like Double Fine that made a phenomenal game, and they come out and post a thumbs up emoji, they didn't make a comment, they just posted a thumbs up emoji. They came out and said Compulsion Games from South of Midnight, half the studio, it looks like, have put up job postings on LinkedIn. And that's fine. They even said, hey, we're helping our staff find other places. They came out and said Ninja Theory's in trouble. They just announced Senua, a new game in the series. They were talking about how Arcane Leon is Blade. I think they're just wanting that to not come out because they're afraid it's going to overshadow Wolverine.
Yep.
And then the last one in the series that everybody was talking about was Undead Labs, State of Decay 3, saying that, they're looking to sell off the studio. And an hour after the media made that announcement, what does State of Decay do? They put out a first 3-hour gameplay of State of Decay 3.
Yeah, and the alpha is going. There's some people who've been playing and
There's
stuff.
a lot of people who've been playing it. I'm in the Discord for them, and they've also just announced that they're going to be starting a beta soon.
Yeah. Honestly, man, I feel like, look, Xbox is in a difficult position at the end of the day. They need to figure out what went wrong and what these games didn't hit, right? The perfect example is Keeper. You heard the developer right there. We wanted to pitch the most ridiculous shit to see how they were going to react. There was like basically a bluff type game. And it actually was good because Keeper is a good game. Now, amazing that you have little games that are super creative like that, but Xbox in the position that they're in, they need hits. And not only Xbox, PlayStation don't really have no time to be playing around. Same thing with Nintendo, same thing with all the studios, Ubisoft, yada yada, EA, all of them. Everybody's in shambles right now. Everybody needs hits. They need shit that people want to play. So all these side projects are amazing, but let's be realistic. We're not going to get too many of this anymore at this point. Okay. And if we get some of this, it might be something that is more popular, something that is more like, because Killing could have been a live service game with a better concept that it will be more friendly to everybody. You know what I mean? They could have turned it into a shooter. You know what I'm saying? Into a cozy shooter with, I don't know, like a survival game or something. There's so many things that they could have done with Killing, but they ended up dropping a game that nobody wanted to play like that, man. And that's a mistake because at the end of the day, this is what you want. You want to have hits. But at the same time, I do agree with Phil Spencer. He wanted to give these people their freedom to create what they wanted. So these people were, at the end of the day, the masters of their own destiny or demise. They were given the option. You, Power Boss, I'll give you a budget and I'll be like, do me a game. And you choose to give me a shitty game that nobody wants to play. That's on you, homie. I gave you the budget. I supported you. I was there for you. I sent you help when you needed all of that. And you still gave me something like, it was up to the developer in the instance. And I'm going to blame them straight up to be like, okay, guys, what are we doing? Do we really want to do a good job, or do we want to do a shitty job and be like, let's make something amazing? Let's make something amazing.
I want to push back on one
But they
thing.
didn't.
About that, though.
Yep.
Okay, whether or not the game is a hit. Okay, we all saw Spider-Man 2, and
Yeah.
the game looked phenomenal, played like crap. It was almost no different than 2018 and Miles Morales, and the storyline was in the toilet. Now, that is not to say that the developers at Insomniac and the makers of Spider-Man, for Sony, are bad. Okay, certain aspects are bad, but at the same time,
hold up, Brian Maynard is amazing. Go ahead and check him out. Yeah, watch the shit from him too.
Yeah, but no matter what you can say about a game, a franchise, or a studio, not everybody that's a part of those are bad. Okay, Starfield is absolutely amazing. Okay,
It is.
The storyline was decently well, not over the top.
It was really good, bro. I don't know what people complain about.
It was good enough. It was good. It's good enough. It's good enough to worth a playthrough. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The gaming mechanics are outstandingly stellar. The inventory could have been used a lot better, and mods fixed that. But then you have to look at other aspects where not every person at the same studio contributes to the same amount of level for each game. So if somebody at Compulsion Games gets laid off, there's still people there that are worth keeping around, that are worth doing things for other studios.
Yeah, it's just
and you may not like a game for its gameplay mechanics, but in those small niche games like Keeper, you're going to find those gems of people that can make storylines and put them onto other studios to make better games.
Dude, I agree with you 100%. But it just feels like that freedom, right, took them to make the wrong game. They needed leadership. They needed somebody who is a game connoisseur, a real gamer that understands the market, understands the player, and is the one who's saying, we're going to make this. You guys got the talent to do so. But they had the talent and they were mismanaged because they didn't deliver. Like, imagine a game like Keeper.
Absolutely,
bro,
100%. Absolutely, 100%.
With the graphical fidelity that game has, a beautiful, amazing art, all of them, everything. But it's not a fucking lighthouse. And he's a fucking character that you can relate to. And you know what I'm saying?
I 100% agree with you.
You know what I'm saying?
The studios were mismanaged one way or the other.
Yep.
To the point where they were given complete and utter freedom where, Cage says best, they were given enough rope to hang themselves.
That's 100.
And right that is perfectly valid to have that criticism. But again, like I said, while the game isn't successful, while the franchise is not successful, while the studio is not successful, you're still going to have those gem developers in some aspect that are at that studio that can be utilized elsewhere for other things. Take the people that make those great mechanics in Kiln and put them on a different live service shooter game. Take those people that make great storylines in Keeper, move them over to Arcane Leon and help them, funnel Blade. Because I'm pretty sure people here love Marvel.
There's talent in their Power Boss. There's
absolutely
talent. There's talent.
So, while the studio itself
is amazing.
While
Same
the studio
with Compulsion.
itself, while the studio itself of Compulsion may shut down because of South of Midnight's failure or lack of meeting expectations, the game was not bad because the game was just overall bad. Because you had stop motion. Not many people do that. It was stylistically creative. The storyline was shit, but the lore of the game is accurate.
Yeah. I believe that South of Midnight is a misunderstood game. Okay, they focus too much on art and things like that. And they needed to focus more on what players wanted. They didn't make a popular game. They made an amazing game, but they made a game that everybody knew that it was going to be unpopular from the get-go. Even when they showed it, they were like, oh shit, very, very nice. But like, who's the protagonist? They didn't rock with her like that, even though I like her. And even though I enjoy the game and like the story. And like you say, I enjoy the folklore. It's the South where we live. We can relate. But not everybody's from the South. They didn't just make a game for Mississippi and Florida. You know what I'm saying? You have to make a game for a whole world and a culture and make it so that it's viable for everybody to enjoy, not just us. And that's where they fail, right? You need to make, first off, when you make a game, because I know PlayStation fanboys and the media, they love a fucking good story. For first of all, you have to have engaging gameplay because that's what you're going to be doing all game long. Your gameplay should be the focus. If I see that you gave me a game and the focus is the story and you give me a decent gameplay and I see that the gameplay could have even more layers, more potential, something, I'm going to feel like this is an unfinished product. Like you focus way too hard in the story, but what about like the gameplay and the way that I'm pressing the buttons and the shit that I could do while I'm playing? You know, not to mention that things now are either popular or not, which is why you have to go with like, you know, shit that people want. Listen to the people. A lot of these studios wasted a lot of money on Sweet Baby Inc. and all this bullshit. And in reality, they didn't need none of that. You could go ahead and drop games like you were dropping back in the Xbox 360 times and people will be happy as fuck. You don't need somebody telling you who to put in the game, how to treat your characters. For God's sakes, bro, they scratched that game and retold the story again. They had to re-record the whole thing because the one narrating didn't sound black enough or something. Like, God, what are we doing? You're wasting resources. You know, I know you want to stay true to the culture and you wanted to make it as, you know, folkloric as possible. But like, there's some things that I don't really understand why they have to be so, you know, pushed so hard. You know, when in reality, what people are asking for is gameplay and a nice story. That's it. The whole thing, fuck it, bro. Who gives a shit? At the end of the day, man.
And they want to talk about how SBI is bad. The way that SBI implements it is bad.
Yeah.
Now, when you also look at it, the studios themselves have people internally that are already supposed to be doing those jobs.
Yep.
And that's the problem, is they outsourced an entire department.
No, and they overrule the vision of the artist.
That too.
They say like, we don't like how you make the vision. Like people complain about fucking DLSS 5, how it's gonna change, but like nobody complains about Sweet Baby Inc., how they're making characters uglier.
They went into hiding.
Characters, like, you know, they put it in parts in the game that they don't belong or they don't go with the story, and it looks out of place. It looks like it's pushed. Like, God damn it, bro. Inclusion is not just like, I'm going to put a Latino character here to include the Latinos. Like, I fuck that shit because I'm Latino. I don't like that shit. Don't give me a fucking cringy Latino character that I don't give a fuck about. Like, represent me well or don't. I don't give a fuck. Make everybody white. I don't care. It's been like that for you. I never cared about none of that shit. You know, or make everybody the same color. Oh, I don't give a damn. Don't push that shit. Like, when it's forced, it comes out the wrong way. It even looks more racist. It take even more offense. You know what I'm saying? That when it just flows naturally, like as something that is just part of the game, and we just put in this to make happy 2 or 3 people. Because at the end of the day, that's a minority. You need to make games for the majority of people. That's what games flop. That's what God of War Low Fate is going to be, an amazing game that nobody's going to give a fuck about it. That's one of the reasons.
Agreed.
And it's sad because that could have been an amazing, dope-ass fucking game. It's sad that for the main protagonist of the game, that she say something yesterday. She say hello, something about PlayStation. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up because I think I had the bookmark. That she said something. She was getting cooked. She was like, "I'm so sorry that you have to work on this shitty game. I'm so sorry that why did they make you look like an old hag?" Like shit like that. They were saying that to her, and bro, imagine you giving, because I'm pretty sure she did it with the best of the intention. She didn't walk in there saying, "Oh, I'm gonna be, make this game about me." No, they call her and be like, "Hey, do you want to make this game?" She basically on her performance probably gave her all in the performance, and
Yeah,
now she's
absolutely.
being criticized, unfortunately, for that. And it's like it's not her fault, and I feel bad for her because she's beautiful.
Even going back to The Last of Us 1 and 2, the voice of I think it was Ellie, and Ellie and Abby. It was two voice actors that I value highly because they're part of Critical Role, and I love them, and they're in lots of things. Laura Bailey and Ashley Johnson.
Can somebody tell me the name of the actress? What's her name? I know her, but I don't know her name.
South of Midnight?
No, for God of War. Anybody has it in chat?
It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it.
Oh my God, because I did see it, but I can't find it right now. What's her name?
I know she's in other things too. Oh, what? There we go. Cage got it. Deborah Ann Wall.
What's her name?
Deborah Ann Wall.
Oh, Deborah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like when The Last of Us 1 and 2 came out, one was a decently good PS4 game. It wasn't over the top, and it was a decent enough of a game worth a play. Because, like Broke Boy said earlier, Sony has been known for great story-driven games. What they are sorely lacking on lately, especially, is gameplay mechanics. When it came to The Last of Us Part 2, it was so bad and people were hating it so much that people were sending death threats to the voice actress.
Look, bro, she actually deleted the shit. I can't find it. She deleted the shit.
But at the same time, you're talking about, okay, you're not basing the characters Ellie and Abby off of Laura and Ashley. Okay, they are doing their job as a voice actress, and they did phenomenal. And when you hear how she says, there was an interview where she was getting death threats, she was getting letters, wishing so many bad things on her newborn child, on her husband, who's a great, phenomenal actor in himself as well. I mean, he's in a Full Metal Alchemist. He's in all of them are in World of Warcraft, damn near. Ashley Johnson herself was in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in one of the Avengers movies. And
insane, man.
It's people are taking things too far out in left field, and it is ridiculous to go that far with things. Because at the end of the day, whether you like or hate Laura and Ashley or Deborah Ann Wall or things like that, the people that you have to criticize are the people making the games, making the storylines that they're reading from. I'm sure Deborah Ann Wall is going to have a phenomenal performance for her voice acting and motion capture and whatever else.
Yeah.
And she's a phenomenal actress. She's been in a lot of good things. And for them to say, okay, they aged her. Okay, so it's a video game. They're making her fit more into the story than, she naturally looks. And that's fine. Because you're not gonna have somebody like Danny DeVito thrown into a game and make him a giant, unless you are going to make him a giant, which is just comical. But if you're going to make it look like him, like what they're doing with Deborah Ann Wall for God of War Luffy, you're not going to have Danny DeVito in that and not be a dwarf. You're going to literally have him play his height, to play up his character, to make it as authentic as possible. Now, if they're just voice acting and it's a complete different model, like Frank the Cube, You know, you don't need to motion cap a cube, especially when you look at it. Okay, the actor himself wearing the mocap he's a pretty tall dude. And I know Tegan, I was making a joke about it because he's a naturally short person. He's a great actor. Shut it. But at the same time, you know, it's you're not going to make him in a video game and not be something like he's not supposed to be. You know, when they're mocapping characters that are humans, that's fine. But if you're going to mocap an abomination, there's only so much that you can do with that. Especially if it's like a tentacle creature or something. You know, you only have 2 arms as a human. So most of the things are more often than not made by the artist, the designs of the creativity. So whether or not, you know, Luffy succeeds or fails, there are still talented people at Santa Monica.
Yeah, no, definitely, bro. People get it twisted when you criticize Sony for the wrongdoings as a company and milking the ponies and all that shit that we talked about. We're not saying they're not the games suck. We're not saying that the consoles suck. We're saying the company suck because of what they doing to the customers. Like, people get it twisted. It's like the same thing with Xbox. Whenever I say Xbox fucked up or some shit, people get mad. People don't like to hear the truth, and it's almost feels like when you go out in a day and your day so, but you treat her like she's a 10 just because you want to get laid. And it's like, bro, I won't do that over here, because the reason why I created this channel, the reason why I created this podcast, and the reason why this is happening today is because I want to talk the truth. I want to say the hard truth that people are ignoring online. I was, back in the day, just like you guys, watching shows, listening to podcasts and all that shit. I was like, what the fuck is going on? This is not what it is, because when I went ahead and did my research, I realized, like, these people are just talking shit. Whenever you go to one of those channels and they tell you Xbox sucks or PlayStation is the best or the other way around or whatever, I'm like, no, that's shit. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, there's a bunch of facts that people don't talk about, things that people live without saying, just to you know what I mean, so that it fits their narrative. And you know, I'm not gonna go ahead and do that. If Xbox fucks up, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be the first one to tell you. I don't like when the Game Pass price increase happened. I don't like when, you know, I didn't care about the exclusive shit, because obviously I'm a more mature, you know, state of mind.
And I'm with you, Demo, because like, when Xbox makes games, when PlayStation makes games, when Nintendo makes games, there is always going to be a hit and miss, because like you, Demo, you're great into first-person shooters. You like Call of Duty like no other. You're into Marathon. You know, you enjoyed Destiny. Okay, I tried Destiny. I enjoyed it for what it was. I've only half been a big Call of Duty fan. You know, I'm not the biggest that there is. I'm somewhat good. I enjoy the zombies modes mostly. I like the survivor modes in Modern Warfare titles. But as far as me, I've never been big into shooters. I can play them. I do enjoy them. But it's not my go-to genre. Not every game is for everybody. But here's the thing. PlayStation is telling you they're putting out 1 to 2 games a year. And those games hit or miss.
Yeah, it's not going to be a hit for everybody.
We see what they're selling. 1, maybe 2 million copies at most, in most of them. And yeah, you bring it to PC, there you go. And then when you look at the Xbox games that are coming out and Nintendo games that are coming out, are those games a hit for everybody? Absolutely not. Also,
nope.
But you're getting the options for Xbox, and Game Pass or not, there are games that people are playing. There are things that are doing great at Xbox over PlayStation by just giving you a choice.
Yep.
And that's the biggest thing.
That's the biggest thing, the choice. The fact that you are able to pick up a game physically, you're able to buy it digitally. And if you don't want to buy it, if you want to rent it online on Game Pass, you can go ahead and do so. And while you are on Game Pass, you can buy it at a discount. And the Xbox Play everywhere. So those are the things that I really highlight about Xbox, because I really believe those are the most important things. It's not about like selling consoles. None of that shit is going to do anything for you as a gamer, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like at this point, cross-play exists. If your friend doesn't have a PlayStation, you can basically play that, or Xbox. You can play with them. No matter, even with Nintendo, we've seen some of this shit going on now. So, guys, it's just, we gotta tell the hard truths, though. We gotta tell the hard truths. There's no defending Xbox, there's no defending PlayStation, no defending none of these companies. Like I said, it is what it is, and there's people out there who get paid to do PR. I don't get paid to do PR. The day that they pay me, y'all gonna know, hey, I sold my soul for a couple of $100. Can't blame it on me. I'm poor. I had 2 kids. You know what I'm saying? But until now, it is what it is. I'm not gonna do shit. I'm gonna keep it 100. And I think everybody should. And I think for the greater good, everybody should keep it real with themselves.
Again, everything that they've put out, is everything a hit? No.
Bro,
not at all.
Perfect example about that, Power Boss. Hellblade.
Yep.
Hellblade is a perfect example of an amazing game that I can tolerate. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people can tolerate Hellblade. It's not because it's bad, but not everybody can tolerate people talking into your ear 24/7 while you play. It's something that I can't.
They actually nailed that aspect.
No, that's the best thing about it. This shit is taught in colleges, like for people to experience actual schizophrenia. But if you experience schizophrenia in Hellblade, it's something that you don't want to do, because it's uncomfortable, bro. You playing this shit late night, all lights are off, and you got something I'm not gonna be playing that shit. It's just scary to me. And that right there makes it a niche game. Like, believe it or not, It's a niche game. And artistically, graphically, narratively, it's an amazing game, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be popular. So what are we doing here? Do we want to make amazing games and then close the studios because they didn't hit, or want to make hits and keep the studios open? That's just what I think. Let's dance to the tune that people are asking for. Let's give them what they want. What do you want? Fun multiplayer experiences? We got that. What do you want? If cool narrative RPGs? Let's do it.
Last week, when they mentioned from Asha Sharma's statements of what was going on, what was going down, what was coming out next, and things like that, and she was talking about how Xbox is quote unquote not in a good place. I just want to put this out there for perspective of people. Okay, the statement that she said about passion projects moving forward. Okay, I personally think, now this is just me spitballing here, so this is not anything gospel, but here's the way I see what she said. Things that Phil Spencer started, projects like Keeper and Kiln and smaller indie projects, she said they're going to scale back. That doesn't mean that they're canceling anything.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to let them play out and do what I said and find and cherry pick the talent that they want to keep, move them to other studios where they can be better performant. And that's perfectly fine. They were then all last week talking since about how there's going to be layoffs, studio closures, games canceled. I don't think that's going to happen, especially with what we've been seeing this past week as well. But we knew that nothing was going to happen until 2 days ago, when it was the turn of the Xbox fiscal year 26 start 2 days ago. So moving forward, I think the next 2 weeks till about the 14th, now we're going to start seeing the fruits of what everybody's been talking about, what's going to happen, starting the next 100 days, and everything is going to basically come together, and everybody's going to find out exactly what Asha Sharma meant when she said those things and the direction that Xbox is going to be going. And I fully agree with Boomstick. I fully agree with Chaos Lounge. The next 100 days that we're seeing that she's been talking about, the Xbox that we're used to seeing of old is going out the window. And moving forward, we're going to see a completely different Xbox. Now, whether or not we continue to like Xbox, or whether they're going in the right direction with what she's going to be doing, that is still up in the air to be determined. We have to see what comes out of it.
Yeah, I believe, man, that she is here to fix things and quickly. So she's gonna make choices, the hard choices that people were perhaps scared of making, like firing this individual who's probably has an ideal that is corrupting the studio or making everything worse. Toxic positivity. We need the leaders at Xbox. Well, yeah, let me go ahead and shout out to chat, man, because y'all been nonstop today, man. But let me go ahead and see what y'all do, man. Tegan saying she's probably already had death threats for Daredevil when it comes to Laura and Fox. Oh, I didn't mind her Daredevil character, but I didn't.
No, that was Deborah Ann Wall.
Yeah. No, she I watched Daredevil for the first couple of seasons. I don't know when she do something stupid or not at the end, maybe, but you can blame it on her. That's whoever wrote the thing. That's the thing. People blame the actors and actresses for what they say in the movies. It's like, bro, like they pay to be saying something like that. They don't improvise. The director or whatever, it has to be okay with it. It's me, bro. Boy, shout out to you, homie. He said I met Laura Bailey a few years ago and her husband. Both were great. Man, that's awesome. You're hanging out with the stars, huh? You're making it big. Okay, we got Tia in the house saying Danny DeVito's in the game. In what game? Is the jelly?
No, I was making an example of putting him into a game.
Oh shit. Jewel saying she's so far based on Love Fate did a nice job. I think she's gonna do a great job in Love Fate. My problem with Love Fate is that a lot of people, God of War fans, don't want to play it. But for what I've seen, I think the game looks incredible. I think they cooking. It's just like a waste of resources because sadly they pushing the boundaries or pushing the limits in a spin-off game instead of in the main God of War. Like I said earlier, these games, these studios and these companies, they need hit. They don't need to be like making little spin-off projects and shit. They need to push out their main players out there to win for them. You know what I'm saying? The motion cap could have used his damn voice, Danny DeVito, or made a complete different model. I don't like the slime.
Talking about the cube, Jack Quaid.
Yeah, slime. Oh my god.
He did voice act as well. I don't know if he did the mocap at the same time as the voice acting, because usually they have those in a booth to make sure that the audio is crystal clear, not echoey things, and they add those effects later. But it's supposed to be for continuity purposes, but again, you have an actor who's that tall standing in a box cube, and when you look at the character, the cube barely comes up to her hip.
Yeah, that's funny. We got Sears in the house saying, I would like to add that a lot of the Xbox games on its sub-service Game Pass were greatly mismarketed, and I have to agree with that to an extent, man. Yeah, some of these games require more marketing, but then at the end of the day, I felt like they were made as Game Pass fodder, and I think that was their mistake. They should have made these games just to be out there for everybody to be like, if you were going to go multi-platform, at least make video games that are worth playing. I did enjoy playing South of Midnight for what it was, for example, but I had to agree with that, man. Some of the marketing for these games were non-existent. Yeah, Xbox really needed. They need to get better at marketing things and putting it in your face, sort of like what Sony PlayStation does. But I don't want it at the same time to become disingenuous. Like, what PlayStation does, which is lying, like saying that, GTA is going to play better in the PlayStation or something like that. We both know that the CPU on the PlayStation is weaker than the CPU on the Xbox, which is like, kind of ridiculous. In the games, I believe GTA is going to be a 30 FPS game. I'll be extremely surprised if it drops at 60 FPS. And that's just like, like a lying ass shit to say and do, you know what I mean? Like, scummy, like lying about like shit that it's not real. But the casuals, they love that shit. So, but yeah, I agree. Xbox got to do better at the marketing, but at least keep it real. Don't be lying like PlayStation. And that's just my opinion. One narrative game per year sucks. Yeah, it does. It does because sadly those games run out really fast. They're like 30 hours top. I don't think any of the God of War games get to 30 hours. You have to like really be trying to do everything. But yeah, it's just like a shame because 20 hours is like 24 hours is a day. So you got a whole year left for nothing. You feel me? Tegan in the house saying most of the time they record the voice on mocap at the same time. Low face so ridiculous bad looking that my alternate account as a cube named Frank. It's a cube named Frank. Yeah, I seen you before. Right? You were here last week, right? With your alternate account. Yo, y'all really like the go to Low-Face conversation, bro. And who the fuck pays a Hollywood actor to mocap a cube? Yeah, that's a good point right there, bro. What a waste. But that's what they're doing. Since you're saying visibility plays a big part in making unknown games a hit demo marketing, I agree with that, man. I agree with that, but at the same time, you cannot market something that is not marketable like that. You feel me? Like a game like Keeper, how are you gonna market that? Play as a lighthouse, like nobody play. Bro. If you that's what I said. You need gamers as leaders. Like, who in the fuck wants to play as a lighthouse, bro? Like, who wants to be a lighthouse? Like, I never hear anybody wanting to be a lighthouse. Straight up. Demo Flow, in my opinion, The Last of Us screwed up PlayStation. Every game after wanted to be an expensive as fuck movie game. Thoughts? I do agree with that. I do agree that a lot of these games are more dramatic than they should. Perfect example was the Crossfire game that they showed recently in Geoff Keighley. I was super excited for seeing something that reminded me of something like either Ghost Recon or SOCOM, and I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be a blast to play. And then the interactions between the characters told me everything that I needed to know. It was gonna be a soap opera. We're gonna shoot our guns here and there, but it was mostly gonna be talking and hiding. And look, some people enjoy this type of games, right? Like Life is Strange, like this type of like graphic novel games. They have a market, but you have to be very careful who you market this game for, because somebody like me, you sold me something in the cover that I think that is going to be cool, and then I encounter a heavy story like that, I'm not going to be with it. I'm going to fucking hate it. I like to press buttons. The reason why I play games because I really enjoy the gameplay, and just sitting down in my chair for hours just watching cutscenes is not going to cut it for me. I'm not with it. I don't like it. I know everybody feels a different way about it, but that's just the way it is with me, at least. And with a lot of people, regardless of how people told you, like, go ahead and check out the top games, played, and they super heavy on the gameplay, bro. Most of the time, these games are multiplayer. Call of Duty is still in the top 10 most sold games, or most played games. Call of Duty, you got Fortnite. Say what you want about Fortnite, but their gameplay is good, man. It's great, and people enjoy it. It's engaging. You don't see none of these super heavy story games like Life is Strange or something like that making the charts, because not a lot of people be playing this shit, man. Just being honest with you. Just how it is. I love Xbox because more games. Look, you nailed it. One of the reasons why I love the Xbox is because I get to play more games. And I know a lot of people say, no, you rent it with Game Pass. Well, you buy physical and then you go ahead and return it at the store. So you're doing the same thing that I'm doing. You're just spending more gas and energy and time doing it. That's it. You are literally doing the same, and you're paying more at the same time, because I mean, look how many games Game Pass. I mean, we gotta be fair. They're dropping a bunch of games, on Game Pass. Now you gotta look at PS Plus, what they offer you on PS Plus for basically the same price, for $2 more or less, whatever. It's not there. The quality is not there, and that's something that we have to keep it real with each other, bro. Like you get to play a lot of games on Xbox. Sales are good on Xbox. On top of that, you got Xbox Play everywhere. They got a lot of things going on for themselves. What people really wanted to tell you is that the console market for Xbox is fucked, and that's nothing new. That's something that we will know since the Xbox One. Now, how Xbox goes about how they're gonna do things in the future, they have a good infrastructure when it comes to the studios, the technologies that they're using, how they're linking your accounts and cloud saves, all of that. They have a good infrastructure, which means that they can still, even if the console disappear, give you the games that you love, like Halo, Gears. These motherfuckers are not gonna disappear. They're gonna continue on and on and on. So that's what I said, man. A lot of people are so caught up in the console that they forget that you have a whole ecosystem to explore, and a lot of people say that Xbox is making console gamers, they turning them into PC gamers, but they're not turning you into PC gamers. They upgrading you into PC gaming because there's so many options. Look at the Helix. When it comes out, you're going to get a bunch of things that the PC has to offer. And at this point, I'll say, why wait? Depending on how much is your budget for the Helix, do not expect the Helix to be less than $1,500. That's just my opinion at this point. PlayStation, same thing. The next PlayStation is gonna be the same, give or take.
I mean,
it's always the same.
We already knew that they were
generation.
approaching. We already knew that they were approaching $1,000 consoles with the handheld and things like that, and then moving forward, we saw the increase of the Steam Deck and then price hike of the Xbox. And we know that the next generation is never cheaper than what the current generation is when it launches. And unless there's a drastic price drop, and they were already talking about the Helix being a quote unquote premium console, then don't expect the PS6 and the new Xbox Helix to be $1,500 minimum or more.
And that's why you have to look at your options. Realistically, guys, you have to face the facts. For next generation, you're going to have to make your decision. Either you cap an Xbox Helix, a PlayStation, or you move over to PC finally. You are going to have to make that decision, because when the prices come out and then you look at pre-builds that are like $1,800, that just for $200 you can run your games better, have more freedom in your ecosystem. Like, a lot of people are going to make the switch. And it is not Xbox doing it. It's not Xbox pushing you to do it. It's just the market going that way. And right now, the technology is crazy. So you don't know if the next Xbox is going to have something like DLSS 5 on them, or similar to the PlayStation. Maybe you don't even need that much power anymore. It's a difficult situation, but eventually y'all going to have to make up your mind. In my case, I love my Xbox Series X. I'm going to keep it. And if I get my hands on a Helix, I'll probably get one too. But I just have to wait and see how much is it gonna be. Is it gonna be worth it for me to move on to the next generation after I already have a PC, I have a Series X? Because we know that these games are gonna continue on the older generation. They're not just gonna kill this generation and move on to the other one. For God's sakes, they just recently stopped the PlayStation 4 ports. Recently, months ago, we discussed it here in the channel. So look how far we are into the generation, guys. And they were still making. Well, this is the first Call of Duty, the one that is coming. That is not. It's last year. The last Call of Duty that dropped on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Check it out. It's happening already. So for the next generation, expect to keep getting games on your console until at least 5-6 years, maybe even longer, maybe last the whole time. Maybe it's not even worth it to get a new Xbox or whatever, or a new PlayStation. You have to wait and see what works for you. You know, what are your needs as a gamer, and then make your decision. You know, that we just have to get there. When we get there, we will figure it out, man. Let me see. Hey, we got Lycos 45 in the building. We got Eternal D87 as well. Same. He's drinking a Colt 45. Where you at, bro? You in the hood or something? What you drinking a Colt 45? That's so ghetto, man. They'll release at 30, then we get it at 60 after lunch when it comes to GTA. Well, we'll probably get an upgrade later, similar to what it happens when they drop it in the Xbox 360. Then you got the Xbox One version, and then you get the Xbox Series version. That's how it's gonna be. Yep, no excuses at this point. Games should all be 60 by default. I agree with you, man, 100%. I believe it, but you know, at the end of the day, this is Rockstar. This is GTA. They can do whatever. They can drop the game at 10 frames per second, and people still buy it, man, because it's just how big GTA is, man. And I don't doubt that this game is gonna have, because based on the leaks that I've seen, I believe this game is gonna have a bunch of performance issues. This game looks insane, bro. So I don't know if you guys seen the leak. I won't show it because of copyright, but insane, man. Insane. But yeah, I see, man. We're gonna call it a day. We're gonna call it a day because it's 4th of July tomorrow, and I got shit to do. Power Boss 2, everybody. I'm pretty sure. Stay safe. Do not play with fireworks. Last year, there was a few people who got their fingers blown. Man, don't play with fireworks. Don't handle that shit. Stay safe. Don't shoot your guns, guys, because I know a lot of people go out there and shoot their damn guns. Do not shoot your guns to the sky, because what goes up must come down. And somebody could be in the end of it, and you're going to be feeling extremely guilty, because they will find you if you do something like that. So please do not shoot your guns. Stay safe. I recommend everybody to stay home. 4th of July is a day to be home, barbecue with the family, enjoying each other. Going out to these like massive gatherings. It's just like last time I went to celebrate 4th of July, it was like 10 years ago here in Miami. I went to Bayside, and there was a shooting. There was nowhere to run, and they were shooting their guns like crazy. I don't know what the fuck was going on. I was in the middle of the crowd. I had nowhere to gun, nowhere to go. And you imagine like going out and, you know, like I could have been killed right there, maybe by a stray bullet or something. So I'm like, you know what, 4th of July, these big dates, we don't do that no more. So cheers, salute to everybody. I hope you enjoy. God bless America, man. And look, there's a lot of events.
Happy 4th of July, everybody. I know it's tomorrow, and be safe.
Yes, sir. Be safe, guys. Be safe. Enjoy. Do not overeat. And I'll see you guys on the next one. It's your boy, Devil Flow. Check it out.
Yeah, Ra, yo Chico boy, Ra, hey, Demo Flow Gaming, boom, boom, boom. I'm back, Ra, Ra, boom, boom, boom. Listen, yo Chico in the house, papi, dale, yeah. Ponies over here, ponies over there, yeah. Ponies over here, ponies over there, yeah. Ponies over here, ponies over there, yeah. Ponies over there, yeah. Ponies over there, yeah. Ponies over here, ponies over there, ponies over here, ponies over there, ponies over here, ponies over there, ponies over there, ponies over there, ponies over here, ponies over there. I smell caca, ponies everywhere. They don't play no games, only do their console sales. It's because ponies ain't got shit to tell. Astro bought the best, but I haven't played. That's what I hear the ponies tell me every day. Ponies be so silly, but I had no pity. They dissed us for the decade, but now Xbox leady. Now they got no games, karma is so weird. You wish that on Xbox you even volunteer. Instead of play with Smith, filled with PC ports, third-party games saying you're your pony love. Waiting for Forza that's almost 5 years old. Copying for remasters, damn that shit is cold. Do it for the plastic and all the pony blow. That's why Sony got you spending all your dough.